Hey y'all, this is Marley K. Hope y'all are well. Got a story that I want to share with you. Well, it's really a topic, but it's about Black voter turnout. It's getting close to national election time. And as I've warned y'all over the last probably 5, 6 years, if you've been following me on Medium and you've been following me here on YouTube, I've been telling you that they are going to scapegoat the fall of America on Black people. You already see it with them decriminalizing certain crimes, and you see all the showing of the Black people shoplifting in stores on television in all the major cities, and all the allegations of high crime. Anytime they talk about crime, is a direct connection to Black people because that's what the slave patrol basically is all about. It is about vilifying Black people, in particular Black men, so that when things go awry, white men have a reason to go do harm to them, to our, young boys and our young men. So, as far as politics goes, they're going to scapegoat us in two ways. They're going to scapegoat us for saying that we let America down because we don't go vote. We don't show up to the polls because we don't get nothing. But we just supposed to keep coming and saving America, putting on our capes and voting, pretending to make change and rescue white people while we get nothing in return. And not just white people, we rescue everybody. We are rescuing, um, the Latino community, the Asian community, any immigrants they let over here, legal and undocumented or illegal. Everything. We just supposed to put on our capes and get nothing. No protections, no services. And then whatever they have allocated for us, we have to include those people under the umbrella with us, which gives us fewer resources when we've already been disenfranchised. So a lot of Black people, including myself, is like middle fingers to this political system. I don't do whatever you're gonna do because it's not gonna it's not gonna make anything better for us. It's not gonna give us more. It's not gonna make America more inclusive. It's not going to um, make things more equitable or fair. They're not going to give us reparations. So who cares? Don't nobody care. Like I said, they're not going to because the Most High said they're going to pay us. But right now, as it stands through the political process, these wicked people are not interested in doing anything that will level the playing field and apologize the way the Bible says you should apologize when you do harm to people. They're not going to do recompense. For the 400 plus years they've held us in captivity and mistreated us, um, and our ancestors, from the time they got off the slave ships, from the time they were taken from the continent of Africa till today. They're not going to do recompense for that. So why are they concerned about how we vote or if we vote or the way that we vote? I don't know. But what I do know is I ain't encouraging nobody to do nothing. I'm encouraging Black folks to mind Black folks' business. That's what I'm encouraging us to do. Work on the things that work for us, come out of the things that don't work for us. Don't try to fix nothing that ain't yours. Don't fix nothing you didn't break. Don't solve problems you didn't create. Don't lie for people who will not protect you. And do not care about this um, political system that's nothing more than just a big old farce. At the end of the day, we're looking at a situation now, and take Israel for example. They went and built up a whole desert over there for those people, gave those people weapons, um, you know, gave them dual citizenship, all these different things, made all these accommodations for them. Every single year, billions of dollars go to that place, and yet we can't get anything. And then they get mad at us because we don't have anything to say. about the conflict. No, we ain't got nothing to say about it. We work, y'all take our taxes, y'all do what y'all want to with them, and then they expect us to be happy about it, and then be like, oh, well, y'all not coming out to vote. What we voting for? What are we voting for? Really, what are we voting for? So it's time for a national election, and they want to drag Black people out again to make us the scapegoats of why the Democratic Party should be reelected, uh, and have power to help everybody but Black people. I don't know what it's going to take for Black people to wake up. They keep on um, using this stupid argument of race when both parties are racist. You got the most racist anti-Black president probably this country has ever had, blatantly racist in modern history. Then created 2 or 3 crime bills to lock up as many Black men as they could, give them felonies so they can't have their rights restored. Um, Created all kinds of policies to keep Black people out of the workforce, created an environment where casual racism was okay. He hung out with racists, and Black people voted for him. And a raccoon from South Carolina, Jim Clyburn, encouraged them to do it and is getting ready to encourage them to do it again. And Black folks just are like, oh, that's not a big deal. Well, we can't have Trump. Honey, you got a racist right now that done locked up your sons, your grandsons, your nephews, your cousins, done come up with all 3 strikes policies that was signed into law by Bill Clinton, another Democrat. But Black people have short-term memories, and the Democratic Party knows that. That's why they keep on doing this little stupid stuff that they do. But I'm here to help y'all remember and to keep y'all on code, because these people want to scapegoat Black folks as Babylon burns to the ground, and I ain't having it. So we getting ready to talk about it. So y'all know Miss Skiwi is scared because they getting ready to dump her. Basically, they know Black people don't like her. Her shine on her money done wore off. Um, she ain't did nothing for the sisters. She got a few little tokens, but even the folks that she brought in ended up fleeing because they weren't being treated properly. And she is not a good liar. She out of her element. State politics ain't like national politics. So they went and got her, thought she was pretty, light skinned. She meet all the metrics for the white society to support her. But for the Black community, we didn't buy her chicanery, and we still not buying it. We know who she is. We see who she is. We know the systems that she's worked for. She don't have any connection to our community. And so the everyday grassroots Black folks ain't rocking with her. We ain't rocked with her the whole time. And the Democratic Party is concerned because Papa want to get reelected because he's trying to stay out of jail. He could possibly be indicted, and they probably got some stuff on him too that they waiting to unseal when he leave office. So he needs to run just like Colt 45 was running. He was trying to stay in office too because he was trying to avoid what's happening to him now. The whole system is corrupt. So we look at all these other countries that have corrupt politicians. Our country is just as corrupt as any other corrupt nation they talk about on on the news about this country corrupt. That we're just as corrupt. So Papa trying to stay in office, but he know he ain't gonna win with Skiwi, so he get ready to dump her. And Skiwi is trying to basically sneak tell what's going on to save her butt, because once she done, she don't have nothing else going for her. Her career is over. So she has no opportunity. She can't go speak to people and make, hundreds of thousands of dollars like Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and Obama. She gonna be just at home with her small hat husband, looking crazy. But that's her problem, not our problem. But anyway, it says in the Washington Examiner that came out a couple of days ago, it says Harris reportedly dismisses question about her declining black turnout. So she says, talk to me after 2024. Nobody even said she was going to be on the ticket, but she is out here trying to put it out like she's okay. We know she ain't okay. I wasn't supporting her then, and I don't support her now. And I got a lot of flack from feminists. I got a lot of flack from a lot of different people for my views back then. And I didn't care because I knew she wasn't hitting on nothing. She had a terrible reputation in California. Um, to me, anybody who works in the criminal justice system and you are working as a prosecutor, you are anti-black, period. You ain't going to change this system. I don't care how much you talk about you working in it, you got to get into it to change it. You can't change this thing. It's going to fall apart. It's falling apart right now because it won't change. And so as long as the dominant society is at the helm of everything, they want to stay in control. That's why we're getting ready to have a whole new world war. So they don't want anybody to control anything. You can go in that system all you want. You're not going to change it. If you ain't on the outside fighting it, you can't change it. If you're not creating your own systems, you're not going to change it. And so a lot of these people come here, they don't have any intentions of changing the system. They come here to continue the system as is and to keep us at the bottom and to oppress us. And so when she got into the system, she understood, and that's why her daddy called her out. So she's no friend to black people, not our kind of black people. Now she might be friends with the raccoon black people, but just grassroots, regular black people who know what time it is, know the system, uh, are harmed by the system, and either directly or indirectly as it targets our children and our parents and our siblings, uncles, aunts, so on and so forth. So what are we supporting? Why would we vote? Why should we vote? Why should we turn out? We don't get anything when we do turn out except for grief. And told, even though we turned out, because white people won't turn out, because white people will go vote against their own interest, allegedly, we still can't get anything in return. And then we are told, when we don't support other groups after we done saved a political party, that they wag their fingers at us and tell us we're wrong for standing on the sidelines. Like we can't do nothing right. So be quiet, keep your hands in your pockets, stay home, mind your business, tend to your communities, tend to your own house, tend to your own people. Try to preserve yourself, because this country will eat us alive. It is eating us alive now. It has stripped us of our wealth. It has stripped us of our men. It has stripped us of our communities. It has stripped us of our culture and our family. Everything it could extract from us, it has. It don't need us anymore. They have their new replacements already here. They are ready to demolish us. And so this whole black voter turnout nonsense is just another season to make us scapegoats before Babylon falls. So this article says Vice President Harris reportedly refused to address questions over the decline in black voter turnout seen by the Democratic Party in the 2022 midterm elections. Asked about the administration's disconnect between its accomplishments and translating them into enthusiasm among Black Americans and higher voter turnout. Harris told the New York Times' Astrid W. Herndon, "Why don't you talk to me after 2024?" That's why they're going to lose right there. In recent years, Democrats have seen support among minority groups, including Black Americans, decline. Now, why aren't they focusing on the other minority groups that they help and they give so much to? Because truth be told, they don't carry as much weight as we do. Those other groups will go vote for Republicans because they are racist and anti-Black, and they believe that in all the things that the Republican Party offers, and they understand they got to get on code or they'll be included with us, and they don't want to be included with us because we are the most oppressed, most abused of all the minority groups in this country. Nobody wants to be with us, and they've programmed other groups to not associate with us, so they need us, but they're steady trying to do everything they can to create all these other subgroups to beef up the Democratic Party because they know not only are we falling off in voter turnout, they're planning on getting rid of a bunch of us. In case you haven't realized, you looked at the last 3 years, we's disappearing, y'all. So our replacements are here. They're working on the replacement theory. And you hear these white boys talk about the great replacement theory. It's not a theory, it's a fact. So as we check out, other groups are going to check in. And that's what they're preparing for. But in the meantime, they got to scapegoat us as this system transitions. And we're going to be the reason that it falls. So they're going to get a new raccoon to take Skiwi's place. Just wait and see. And it's going to have all the Black people enthusiastic and running to the polls who don't know no better, who don't understand that no matter what they do, it's not going to help Black people. They have it down to a science that we love symbolism. We love representation politics. You don't have to do nothing for us. Just look like, just put somebody up there to look and sound like they're going to do something for Black people, and you can get them to come out. Everybody knows the racket, except for Black people. In recent years, Democrats have seen support among minority groups, including Black Americans, decline. Between 2020 and 2023, President Joe Biden's share of non-white voters who plan to vote for him dropped from 70% to 53% per data from various New York Times, Siena College national polls. This trend also reflected in the midterm elections, in which Black voter turnout dropped 10%. In the Washington Post's analysis of the Census Bureau's turnout survey, Black voter turnout fell from 51.7% in 2018 to 42% in 2022, and you can't win nothing that way. In the New York, and good job, Black people. I'm proud of y'all. In the New York Times new profile of the vice president, Harris was asked about the party's relationship with Black voters and if promises have been kept to the community. The author writes, Harris launched into a recitation of talking points. Ooh, it's getting us so good. He said the vice president pointed out to money the administration has given to historically Black colleges and universities, which, if you know anything about what happened, like they didn't really give us money. They didn't give HBCUs money. What they did was, well, they didn't give them more money. They actually gave them less money because they gave a lot more money to the Hispanic population. And HBCUs had to open up to compete. They also had to show data demonstrating that they've had an increase in Hispanic students because they're chasing other dollars. So HBCUs really are not HBCUs anymore. They have opened their doors up to anybody who will come because they're not getting the money that they're supposed to get. And they're having to share their pot that used to be just theirs with other ethnic groups, and other historically white institutions are also competing for those funds, and they have much better grant writers than HBCUs. So they always get the money, whereas HBCUs don't get the money because they don't invest in good grant writers and they don't get the money. I'm not telling you nothing that I've heard. I'm telling you what I've read and what I've seen myself as a reviewer. So it says also capping insulin prices. So here they go. When they talk about capping insulin prices, this is a throw off to African Americans have the highest uh, rates of diabetes in the country, which signifies we are not healthy. So we're doing you a favor by throwing you some drugs that are going to kill you eventually, put you on the track to needing dialysis and feeding you bad food, and we're not going to do repair or pay you for the years that we kept you so poor that you couldn't eat right, or we didn't teach you to eat right, or we didn't put food, good quality food in your communities. We left your communities food deserts. When we designed cities and counties, we made sure we excluded good places to get good food from your communities. And so you got diabetes and you're sick. Federal restrictions on certain police practices. Okay, if you're not getting fed charges, it don't even matter. Our issues lie with states and local municipalities, which they do nothing about, not even oversight. And affordable housing, worked on by Housing Secretary Marcia Fudge. She ain't done nothing. She just got her job to shut her up. She hadn't done nothing, and we don't have no more affordable housing. If housing was so affordable, it wouldn't be so many people out here crying about how high rent was. So it's just BS at the end of the day. But that's what they do. Herndon wrote that he asked Harris, has there been enough substance that the administration has put on its inequality agenda? And has that promise made had that promise made to Black communities been kept? The only people that benefited from the inequality agenda is the transmission alphabet community, the elemental P's. By this point in the interview, the window that was slightly open when Harris sat down felt as though it had been firmly shut, he detailed. According to the author, the interview was meant to be the first of two, but the second interview would not take place. Over the weeks that followed, the vice president's aides would repeatedly postpone the second interview that had been agreed to for this article, he claimed. Likely in response to the dropping non-white Democratic support, Biden's reelection campaign has moved early and spent big on engagement in the Black and Latino communities. A portion of the campaign's early $25 million ad buy has been devoted to strategic ads in Black and Latino communities. We don't care what he do. We ain't voting for him. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna be on here all the time. Don't y'all do it. We're not doing that. Mind your Black business. You get nothing in exchange for your vote, so stop going and listening to what they say, and stop letting these corrupt politicians come into churches and tell these people lies. These Black preachers need to be ashamed of themselves. That's the next group of people who need to get run out and called out, these Black politicians, particularly within battleground states. There have even been ads designed specifically for the groups, including La Diferencia, a Spanish language radio and video spot, and Commitment, geared toward Black communities and focused on fighting for equity. Child, if y'all ain't fought for equity and got it by now, you ain't finna get it. This place is going down in flames. You can't get no equity when they done invited everybody and their grandma to the table. Ain't got enough food for us. They done invited more people to the table. And then they telling us that we got to be committed to fighting some more, for fighting for other people when we don't even have enough for ourselves. Child, please. Child. Y'all better stop falling for these shenanigans. Harris has been deployed by the campaign to rally young and minority voters in recent months. She might rally the minorities, but she ain't gonna get the black people because black people checked out. Delivering speeches to various black and Hispanic advocacy groups and visiting young voters on college campuses. And so, see where they like to go to the college campuses. Y'all notice this is a pattern with the Pope as well, focusing on the children and colleges for speaking engagements during a cross country bus tour. So, the other thing that I want to show you about this is on the Hill. Also came out 6 days ago. Notice these articles come out at the same time. Democrats see a warning sign with black voters in Louisiana governor's race. Louisiana gubernatorial candidate Shawn Wilson is facing a challenging path to election amid warning signs that Democrats are not doing enough to motivate their base, including black voters. So let me tell y'all something. The majority of black people live in the South. They don't invest hardly any money in the South to get candidates elected because Democrats shook hands with the Republicans at the end of the Reconstruction era to make sure that the South remains the South. It remains lily white. It remains coded Confederacy, true and through. And they intentionally don't invest here because they shook hands in an informal agreement to make sure that the South remained the South and the Democrats could have everything else except for the South. And so they invest in a few key markets in the South, but when black people need to have something done or they need support, if they're trying to run for office, they don't get the support of the Democratic Party. The Democratic parties in most states in the South are anemic. So the national that does all the fundraising, they don't distribute money to the South. They fund key markets where they have their pets, and they know they can win. But when it comes to the South, they don't invest any money in the South. And that's why black people are not seeing any change and black people are tired. They know if they support the Republican Party, what they're going to get, nothing. You're still helping the devil. If you continue to vote for the Democratic Party, what you're going to get? Nothing. You're going to support candidates who ain't going to win or can't win or who were selected. They're not your choice. They're their choice. And so when they get elected, they're going to do their bidding, not your bidding. And so you still get nothing. So nothing from nothing leaves nothing. So again, what we voting for? Okay. So more than a dozen candidates are running to replace term-limited Governor John Bel Edwards, who's a Democrat, with 6 main contenders emerging from the pack. Louisiana uses an open primary system where all contenders are listed under one ballot. If no one candidate receives more than half of the vote, the top 2 vote getters head to runoff. Wilson, a former state transportation secretary, is expected to qualify during the Saturday primary for a November runoff election with leading Republican candidate Jeff Landry. But experts are pointing to a weaker polling among black voters and limited coordination between the campaign and state party as among some of the causes for concern for Democrats in the gubernatorial race. And y'all know in the South, things are going back to the way that they used to be. So black people struggling when it comes to politics and just in general, like keeping your head above water. So If things were so good, you wouldn't have to worry about this enthusiasm. But Democrats have been helping everybody but black folks. And now most black people, especially in the South, are looking around and we're seeing all these other groups here benefiting, taking jobs that could be their jobs. Um, and like nobody has anything to say about it. So it says Democratic turnout has been weak, said Louisiana-based pollster John Covillion. Normally, early voting tends to favor Democrats and Republicans. As of Saturday night, cumulatively have a +5 lead, added Covillion, who typically works with Republicans. Though fewer ballots for early voting have been cast overall this election cycle compared to 2019, more Republicans than Democrats have voted so far, according to the data from the Louisiana Secretary of State's office. Black voters make up a critical base of Democrats' voting bloc in the state, but early voting numbers show black turnout has dropped 8% compared to the 2019 primary. White voter turnout also declined 12%. Tyrone Walker, Vice President for Policy, Strategic Partnerships, and Development with the Louisiana Urban League, said there's no denying black voter turnout is not where they'd like it to be, but he added that historical barriers cannot be overlooked in discussion around voter turnout. They love to talk about barriers. We sick and tired. That's the barrier. Sick and tired. Broke, ain't got no money. Can't get no jobs because you got to contend with all these illegal entrants. Um, Inequity, racism, can't get clean water, um, stores closing up in our communities, no community development, can't afford housing. Like, what you voting for? What do black people have to go to the polls for? There is nothing that we have to go to the polls for. Police still killing us, poor medical care, racism everywhere, poor educational outcomes, poor educational systems, can't afford college. Like, I can just name you 100 things, 100 reasons why black people will not go to the polls. And I told y'all, my dad, 70 something years old, he's like, I ain't going to vote no more. I'm tired of voting. I'll go vote now. Nothing changed. Old black people tired. Young black people see nothing changes. Middle-aged people are like the only people who like, oh yeah, go vote. Your vote matters. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all smoking crack? Y'all on the pipe? Y'all popping perkies and mollies? Like, what's happening? You a meth head? Why can't you see nothing is changing for black people? Our communities are inundated with illegal entrants, undocumented people who get away with murder, get away with things that we can't get away with, and the police can't do anything about it. And employers keep hiring them, so they keep coming, and we have to pay taxes so that those people can live here and they get privileges and benefits that we cannot get. Why on earth would black people turn out to vote? Who's voting for that? Nobody. I don't recommend nobody vote for it. I don't recommend nobody vote for nothing. Come out of her, my people. That's what the good book said. Come out of her. Because Babylon is going to fall and be destroyed and desolate in 1 hour. So if that is the case, what are you voting for? You already know what the outcome is getting ready to be. Now, granted, I'm not opposed to talking to people that represent you about stuff to let them to chin check them, like on these 15-minute cities and these cameras and all these things that they are implementing locally that you have some say over. You can go to a meeting and be on record showing your um, disdain for whatever they're trying to institute when it comes to this transition into this new global order. But as far as just voting, just to say black people turned out, man, y'all better find something else to do with y'all time. I don't even support escapism like football and basketball and stuff like that these days. But I'd rather for y'all to stay home and watch a movie. Go out to eat dinner. Do something else besides talking about going to some polls and voting for a system that only uses our labor to prop it up. It does nothing for us in return. Come out of her. Wake up, Black people. And all they're going to do is get their Black tokens that they chose to give the illusion that they're doing something for you. That's all they ever do. Representation politics, token politics. Everybody gets something except for Black people. So, no, stay home, paint some pictures. Uh, don't make no babies, because don't bring nobody else here into this mess. Do something else. Clean up, prep, plant a garden, read a book, um, anything except for contribute to this dysfunctional mess of a racist nation that has us in captivity, will not let us go, will not do repair, will not do recompense, will not stop the police from beating us, will not treat us fairly, will not give us money to do what we need to do, continues to destroy our communities, continues to gentrify our communities, continues to put highways through our communities, continues to inundate our communities with illegal entrants and all types of immigrant groups who don't like us. Man, if y'all don't get somewhere and sit down, I don't even know what's wrong with Black people. Y'all better start going back through history, go back to the end of the Reconstruction era, see who caused that to happen, and then fast forward to 2023. You're going to see the same footprints on everything bad that has happened to our community. The Democratic Party and these darn governments. So if they are cherry picking the people to represent us, it's all an illusion. So why continue to play the game? It's like going to the casino and you see the man with the 3 coconuts on the table and you paying him to try to pick the coconut with the thing under it, and you keep losing because he know which one is marked. You don't. It's all a racket. Stop playing with Babylon, because Babylon ain't playing with you. Black voter turnout is going to continue to be low because we are waking up. Black voter turnout will continue to be low because we don't get anything for our vote. Black voter turnout will continue to be low because there's nothing to vote for. Everybody can see the writing on the wall. This country is falling apart, and everybody has gotten what they're going to get from it. They're giving everything they can give away. So there's nothing to give to us. So stop giving life to something that's already dead. We are the life. We are the light. We have kept this country running for 400 years. If we take back our culture, if we take our labor, if we take our time, if we take our money, invest in ourselves, and stop propping up this mess. Even with the politics, like if you think about culturally where we come from, we didn't have this system. This is their system. It don't work for us. It's never going to work for us because it wasn't designed for us. It wasn't designed by us. This is their stuff. Give them their stuff back. Don't worry about voter turnout. They're going to keep on talking about stuff. Folks going to be compelling you to try to vote. Go vote. Your vote counts. It does matter. How? Tell somebody to tell you what they get for the vote. And don't tell you nothing about where Donald Trump going to come back. It don't matter if Donald Trump come back or if Godzilla come back. Same results. They're going to be eating Black people alive. They're going to be stripping Black people of wealth. They're going to be giving Black men felonies. They're going to be pulling Black men out of cars, beating them to death, shooting them in their backs when they're running away, uh, making stops, creating laws to keep them bound up with the criminal justice system so that they can't ever climb the ladder and get out of debt and help their families. They're going to keep putting stuff on social media so the men and women can be divided. And they're going to keep doing stuff in school so these children can be confused. By the time they get to sixth grade, they're fruity and they think they're a transmission. Read between the lines. Oh, come out of her, my people. Wake up. The illusion is over. I used to be one of those people, and I woke up. It's been over 10 years now, but I figured it out. There's nothing else to give. I don't have anything else to give to politics. Nothing. They have nothing for me. I have nothing for them. Nothing at all. So don't be scammed, people. Do not be scammed. They're going to keep on talking about us. The closer we get to next year, they're going to keep on calling us out. Oh, you got to help save America. America ain't saving you. Don't save her. Don't let white people fool you. They always talking about you got to help, you got to help, you got to help. They don't go tell white people they got to do nothing. Who they come to? They slaves, the slave class. It's over. This country is done. They know it, and they're just trying to keep y'all all emotionally tied up into it until the last drop. You might as well come on out of her. You better be going to the grocery store and get you some groceries. Better go to the drug stores and get you some medicine because they closing all of them up. Get you some water and put in your house. Get you some things so you can heat yourself in the winter and try to cool yourself in the summer. Because if the grid goes down, you're going to have a problem. It don't matter who you vote for, because all those people that you voted for are going to be in bunkers. They're going to be somewhere safe. You're going to be out here fighting for your little Tylenol and your little loaf of bread. Trying to get you some Clorox so you can clean some stuff so you don't get sick. Stealing maxi pads from the store because you forgot to get you some when you was getting your preps. That's where we going to be at. So y'all better get right. I'm trying to tell you. These people don't care nothing about you black people. So you can sit around here and think nothing gonna happen. You see the whole world is going to hell in a handbasket, in part because of America. Want to dominate everybody and the system is changing. So as it changes, guess what? You still not gonna have no power here. The only power you're gonna have is when you leave here, when we have our mass exodus and leave here. Until then, you are in captivity. So it doesn't matter what the slaves do while they're in captivity. You're still not going to be free. They're still not going to help you. They're still not going to give you nothing. They're going to give everybody something except for you. So why bother? All right, I'm finished my rant. So anyway, please like this video, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so that you will be notified each and every time I upload new content. Subscribe to my Odyssey and Rumble channels. In the event that this channel goes down, you will have an alternative to get my content. Also, follow me on social media. The links are in the description. Don't post there often, but if I need to, I will shoot y'all a message there. If you don't see me in a couple weeks, check those platforms. If you haven't, unsubscribe and then resubscribe, because YouTube is not sending out the notifications when I upload new content. So I noticed that my viewership has dropped again, and the algorithms, they do whatever they want to do to them. So if you're not getting notifications, make sure you unsubscribe, then resubscribe and hit that all notification so that anytime I upload anything, you will get it. So you can not look at it if you don't want to, but at least you will know that I did put some new content out. I will be putting out more content shortly. There's a lot of stuff going on. I haven't even addressed the war stuff, but get your preps, people, because things are going to go awry fast. They're already talking about food scarcity around the world. We talked about food scarcity earlier this year and how they talked about creating the situations that would drive food scarcity. And so if you haven't been planting gardens and putting food back and preparing, you are behind the power curve right now. And with this war getting ready to kick off, I don't know how long it is going to be before things get to the point where we're unable to afford certain items, or where those items, will even be available in stores. So continue to prep, continue to pray, continue to seek the Most High, repent for your sins daily, sense of commission, sense of omission. Pray for the awakening. Pray that more Black people, African American Black people, wake up, and the scattered children of Israel all over the globe, not them fake ones, the real ones. Our people are in dire straits, and if we don't wake up soon, a lot of us are going to perish. The least of our concerns will be voting. And they know it. So these types of situations are distractions. This whole Black voter turnout to get you scared, because they know we are emotional people, and they have trained us to care about how others perceive us. But right now, we need to have a I don't care attitude about what people think, because nobody else cares about our well-being. If we don't care about ourselves, nobody else is going to care about us. So open your eyes, see what's happening for what it is, look around, look at what you have compared to what other people have, look at how much we've lost compared to other groups, look at who's coming here and getting things, and who's not getting things, and just look at the fact that everybody can get reparations or repair and protections except for us. So you're not valued, you're not wanted, you're not respected. And so when you are shown, how people feel about you, then you need to give them that same energy. So I'm all about matching energy these days. I'm gonna match your energy. You don't care nothing about me, I'm finna give you the same thing. I don't care nothing about you either. So don't come to me about we gotta work together and say no. We ain't got to do nothing. All I gotta do is stay Black, wait on the Exodus, or endure my persecution until death, possibly. But as far as helping people who not trying to help us, I'm done with that. I'm good on that. I've done that. Got a t-shirt. I'm good. So I recommend y'all do the same. Keep that same energy. Stay on code. If it ain't about our people, if it's not about your local community, if it's not about your individual household, don't even worry about it, because nothing else is going to benefit us. There are no laws that are going to protect us. They ain't making no new laws to protect Black people. Constitution still is the Constitution. And if the World Health Organization and you ain't got anything to do with it, we won't have a constitution soon. So you really won't have no protections. So again, if you know what I know, you best be trying to take care of your own household. You better be trying to work within your own community, because that's going to be your local governance that you're going to be having to respond to. Whatever's happened nationally, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing about it. And nationally, it, it's just gonna be chaos. So try to eliminate as much chaos as you can in your life, and that time that you spend worrying about who's gonna be running for office and who gonna hurt you. Everybody is here to hurt you. Everybody, including some of these raccoons amongst you that they have propped up in the church, in these civil rights organizations, in politics, in social service organizations, governmental entities. It's raccoons and slave catchers everywhere doing harm to us. Learn how to see people for who they truly are and what they truly represent, and move accordingly. All right, y'all, this is Marley K. Love y'all. Be wise, get knowledge, and I'm out.